As a public defender, Judge Karen fought for her client's rights. She was elected to the bench because she believes in doing the right thing.
I'm very passionate about helping people, period. Y'all two grown people need to get your own house.
Right.
You had 7 years to have told him that. When we fight, who's gonna win?
You are.
I don't answer questions, I ask them.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand.
Objective, independent justice.
I'm ready to rule. If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Wedding planner Ama Hoyt is suing Victoria Bloom in the amount of $1,000. Ms. White claims Ms. Bloom demanded she transport a heavy basin to her daughter's wedding and says she broke her foot as a result.
All right, Ms. White, you're suing Ms. Bloom for $1,000 for personal injury, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your relationship to the defendant?
She is the mother of my client. I am a wedding planner, and I planned her daughter's wedding.
Okay, who hired you?
Her daughter hired me.
Okay, so you became a wedding planner?
I did, yes.
All right, and so her daughter, what's your daughter's name?
Brittany.
Brittany contacted you and said, I'm getting married, can you help me with the wedding?
Yes, she did.
Okay, who was paying for that, Mama?
I was paying for the wedding, and I'd actually spoken to a few people, and I was planning on figuring out who the best person was going to be.
Right.
And
Well, it was your daughter's wedding.
Yes,
right?
It was my daughter's wedding.
But she wasn't paying for the wedding planner.
Correct.
You didn't have a problem with the plaintiff then?
Not at first.
Okay, well, we're here in court, so something must have happened. So tell me what happened.
So, as I said, I was the wedding planner for her daughter, and her mother came with us to every decision that we made, to the cake and the linens and the colors and the flowers, everything. Her mother was there making the decisions. Brittany and I would make one decision, and her mother would come in and make a different decision, and her decision always overruled. And so
well, Brittany's not here suing her mama, you are. Okay?
Yes.
So Mama's paying the money. I think Mama's got to say. If you want everything that you want, then you pay for it.
Yes.
But you were paying for it, so you had to say.
Yes, Your Honor, I was paying for it, and I can't imagine someone who is in the wedding planning business to not understand that a mom is going to have certain opinions and want what they want also.
Of course.
And there would be a discussion.
Right.
Not
Usually
a, oh, I can't do that.
It's been my experience. The mamas are always involved.
Absolutely.
But what happened here?
So I was always constantly jumping through hoops for her, last minute requests. And so of course the morning of the wedding, she emails me and tells me that there is a water basin. It is a family heirloom, and it's very important that it get to this wedding ceremony.
What water basin are we talking about?
It's something that was in my family for a few hundred years on the
what
property.
Is it?
It was a place where children used to play, and my grandpa called it a water basin.
Right.
She's calling it a big clunky, I don't know what she's calling it.
But what did you want to do with this thing?
I wanted it to be there because it was there when I got married.
You mean it was a part of the ceremony?
It was a part. It was there. Yes, as a part of the ceremony.
Had y'all ever talked about this before the morning of the wedding?
No, we had not. I had never heard any mention. It was a farmhouse theme, and the morning
and
of
it was where was the wedding taking place?
The wedding was at a church.
Okay.
Yeah, and the water basin was not at the church. The water basin was at her mother's estate, which was 45 minutes away from the church.
You wanted the water basin brought to the church?
Yes, Your Honor, I did, and Brittany told me.
But why did you wait till the morning of the wedding?
Brittany told me that
Where's Brittany? Is she here
is
today?
my daughter. She is not. We can't talk about her.
Okay, don't tell me what Brittany told you.
Okay.
So why did you wait till the last minute? The morning of the wedding?
Yes, I assumed that was taken care of, and when no one discussed it, then I went, let's make sure that somebody gets the water basin over there.
And you called her?
I sent her an email
How much does this water basin weigh?
Probably about 300 pounds. It's not a basin. It is a porcelain bathtub.
Let me see it. Does anybody have a picture?
Yes, I do. I have a piece of evidence here. This is you can see that it's clearly a bathtub, and this thing is
it's a bathtub.
It is a bathtub.
It's a bathtub. You call it a water basin. It's a bathtub.
That's what my father.
Bathtub.
Yes, it is. And she did not mention.
Wait. Where was this going to go once it got to the church?
I have a picture.
No, once it got to the church. Where was it going?
Yes, and I've got a picture of where there we put it, and it was up in front so that everybody could see it.
Let me see what she's got. Was it at your wedding?
Yes, it was at my wedding.
Did you bring me a picture of it from your own wedding?
I could not locate any pictures, and it was at my mother's wedding, and it was at her mother's wedding because it was on the property.
Okay, it's back here in the back with this little circle. You didn't even notice this thing back here. And how long had it been in the family?
It's been in the family for hundreds of years.
No. These are 1920s. I got two houses, 1920s.
1920s.
Yeah.
Well,
no hundreds of years.
Then
decades maybe, but no, it's no hundreds of years.
Okay, well,
this weighs more than 300 pounds. This weighs more. I had one move recently.
Oh?
This weighs a lot more.
What did you do with yours?
I don't answer questions. I ask questions.
Okay. All right.
Coming up on Supreme Justice.
Excuse me, Your Honor, but that's something that you need to learn is that if you want to be in this business, you have got to have a contract.
So was there a contract?
I did not sign a contract.
Anything?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
And later.
It's always sad for me when close relatives are suing each other. I read the beginning of your pleadings that you were very close, like brothers, right? And look where you are now.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Emma White, who is suing Victoria Bloom for $1,000.
Okay, well, you didn't have somebody that worked on your estate that could put this on the back of a pickup truck out there and bring it to the church?
Actually, not at that time. No one's living in there now because my mother passed away, and we're in the process of selling the estate.
Okay, so you get an email. Let me see the email.
Yes, absolutely. I have the email right here. So she sends me this email, and she lets me know that it's a water basin, and I have the means to pick it up. Right. The email says basin, so I'm thinking I can pick this up on my own. I have the means, I have a dolly. I get there, it is a massive bathtub. Somehow I figure out how to get it on the dolly, and as I'm rolling it to my car.
You got that on a dolly?
You know, when you're put under pressure like that, there's this strength.
Your
I can't
Honor,
explain it.
Clearly.
I managed to get it on the dolly, and as I'm rolling it, it chips over on its side and absolutely crushes my foot. And I now have a broken foot, a wedding ceremony that is 2 hours away. I'm 45 minutes away from the ceremony. I have no way of getting this back.
Is there a contract? Is there a wedding planner contract you signed?
Excuse me, Your Honor, but that's something that you need to learn is that if you want to be in this business, you have got to have a contract.
So was there a contract?
I did not sign a contract.
Anything?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
You go out there, you get there, you could have said, I'm not doing this. It's not part of wedding planner duties. You need a man to do this.
Yes.
And Your Honor, in the email I said you need your team to help you lift it and put it into your truck.
Well, who's the team?
I do have a team. I have 2 assistants, but there was one assistant who was at the ceremony.
You know
church.
what, though? Let me just tell you, I can protect a lot of things, but I cannot protect you if you don't have common sense. Because common sense isn't that common. Once you saw that tub, you should have said, anybody with reasonable common sense would have said, this ain't happening today. It's just not happening. It's not part of wedding planner duties. It's not something we ever even discuss. I'm incapable, as small as you are, of trying to move this thing.
I didn't want to disappoint her because I knew how she had been this whole planning process. She had made my life an absolute
There's no
nightmare.
contract here. There's no agreement, nothing in writing that you had to do this. It almost looks like a favor, and you could have just said no. I mean, the fact that you took this on was ludicrous. I would have just said, no, it's not going to happen. So what's this $1,000?
So my medical bills, I had to go to the ER, I had to get an x-ray, and they had to splint
And you
my
got
foot.
this thing to the wedding?
So my boyfriend came, picked me up, took me to the ER, and got the bathtub to the wedding in time for the ceremony so that...
So what happened at the wedding? Who was there? The rest of your team?
My team was there, and they took over for me.
Why do you don't offer to pay this girl's medical expenses?
Because
she did something for you.
She brought brought it on herself. So it was not technically my fault that she tried to pick this up herself when I requested a team.
Listen, I cannot legislate or rule ethically, okay, about ethics. But you asked somebody to go pick up something that you thought was hundreds of years old, just a few years old, that weighed 500 pounds, even with 2 or 3 people, you probably need 5 people to lift this tub, and she gets it to you at your request, Mama.
Yes,
and
yes.
she gets hurt doing it, trying to please you.
Yes.
It just seems to me the right thing to do is to say, let me pay your medical expenses.
She's saying that I'm responsible and that it was my fault.
You can say I'm not responsible. It's not my fault. But because you did something that was really outside of what any wedding planner would do, and you were hurt doing it, trying to please me, let me pay your medical expenses.
I
understand. You got all these diamonds dripping for you and everything. What's $1,000?
Exactly,
I understand. I understand. I just don't like being blamed for being
Let's say
the
we don't
mother
blame you.
from...
Can you say I'm not blaming you anymore? Let's see if she changes her tune. That you don't blame her. Can you say I don't blame you?
I don't blame you, but I would still appreciate if you paid my medical expenses.
You know what? This is why you ain't gonna get nothing in life. You know? You had to say one thing and say it and mean it. Because I can't legally make her pay you.
Okay.
I'm trying to see out of the kindness of her heart. She wants to see, she seems like she's got some breeding. People with good breeding, somebody with good breeding would offer to pay your medical expenses just out of what's the decent thing to do.
I just don't like being blamed.
So is this a no, you're not going to pay her medical expenses?
Can you say that it's not my fault what happened and that it was your judgment and that as a businesswoman you need
now,
to
you know
have
what?
better
You're really
judgment?
taking this too far.
Pardon me?
First you just wanted to, it's just not my fault.
That,
It's just not my fault.
I agree. It's not my fault.
Can you just say it's just not your fault?
It's just not your fault.
You got your checkbook?
I do.
Okay, all right. So you're going to step outside, you're going to write her a check. Case is dismissed. Good luck to you both.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case has been dismissed.
I didn't think she had a leg to stand on.
Well, I guess she realized that she did actually need to do the right thing, but I will never be working for her family ever again.
Coming up,
Do you want a relationship with your cousin? Or you don't miss him or what? Tell me, I don't know. I don't know y'all. Your pleadings say you were like brothers. You don't act like brothers, not to me.
you're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Ronnie Temple is suing his cousin, Sean Temple, in the amount of $875. Mr. Temple claims he lived and worked with the defendant and says his cousin withheld his pay because he got behind on the rent.
So, Mr. Temple, you're suing your cousin, Mr. Temple, for $875 because you say it's money he owes you for having worked on his hot cocoa truck. What were you doing before you started working with him?
Before I was working with him, I was doing ride share. I was just giving people rides and getting paid.
Right. How long did you do that?
I did that for about a year.
Okay. So, you know, it's always sad for me when relatives, close relatives, are suing each other. I read the beginning of your pleadings that you were very close, like brothers.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And look where you are now. How did we get here?
We got here by him just not paying.
What was the agreement?
So the agreement, I was supposed to get $175.
Why did you start working with him anyway? You said you were doing ride share. Why did you start working with him?
It seemed as if I could make more money.
Okay.
So I took the offer.
Okay, so he offered you a job.
Well, I asked him,
Can I work for you?
yeah, can I work for you?
Right.
And then he
said
and then
yes.
he agreed.
You agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so the agreement was $175 every time you worked?
Yes.
And how long would you work when you would work with him?
We would do about 8 hours. 8 hours.
8 hours, okay. So what went wrong with this?
Everything was fine the first 7 events. First 7 events, I got paid right after.
Wow, 7 events, and you worked those 8 hours and he paid you $175. No problem.
No problem.
Then what happened?
On the 8th event, he told me things didn't go as they normally go.
Right.
I'll pay you another time.
So, but you still were gonna pay him, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Coming up,
He just started to refuse to pay me.
Right.
He even told me squatters don't deserve to get paid.
Well, were you a squatter?
you're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Ronnie Temple, who is suing his cousin Sean Temple for unpaid wages.
So then what happened?
So then it seems as if I did more events and he just started to refuse to pay me.
Right.
He even told me squatters don't deserve to get paid.
Well, were you a squatter?
No, I was a hard worker.
So why did you tell him that? Did you tell him that?
After that particular event, he had issues with his girlfriend at his home, was kicked out of his home,
Well,
and
how
asked
you
to stay
miss
with
that
me.
part? How did you miss telling me that part? You had a fight with your girlfriend and she told you to get out?
That is true.
And then you what? Asked him if you could stay with him?
Yes.
How long did you stay with him?
It's about 2 months.
2 months. Did he pay you any money?
No, he did not, but we agreed that he would pay $300 per month, but I was not paid.
Did you tell me you're gonna give him $300 per month?
Yes.
Why do you keep missing information to give me? So you were supposed to pay $300. So there's $600 you owe him, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you think he owes you $875?
That's correct.
Okay. So what are you subtracting the $600?
Subtracting the $600 and, if possible, the extra $200 for his car battery.
He bought your car battery, and how much did it cost?
$275.
What are we doing here? What are we doing?
He owes the money.
Yeah, but did you? This is why your girlfriend probably put you out. I don't believe you always paid her on time either. So what was the agreement then about the battery?
I wouldn't say there was more of an agreement. It was more that I wanted him to get back on his feet and to
Right.
start ride sharing
Right.
again, so that he
you
could.
never told him he had to pay you back for the battery then?
No.
Okay.
It was
well
something
then,
I did.
So then you agree that you still owe him $275 in unpaid wages.
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
What's going to happen to the relationship?
To be honest, Your Honor, I have no clue.
Do you want a relationship with your cousin? Or you don't miss him or what? Tell me. I don't know. I don't know y'all. Your pleadings say you were like brothers. You don't act like brothers, not to me.
I definitely would like a stronger relationship with Ronnie, but doing something like this when it comes to family, like bringing legal matters.
Right, bringing a lawsuit
into-
is kind of just a bridge too far.
Especially when I tried doing all I could to help him with, you know what I'm saying,
And
helping
you know
his
what?
car.
And the next time that girlfriend
Right.
puts you out with it, now you don't even have anywhere to go. That's what they call burning bridges. You are burning bridges. It's unfortunate that now you're getting $275. How's that feel?
I didn't want it to come to this, but I think when people owe, they should pay.
You owed him $300 a month and you didn't pay? But he thinks his principle is this, that when people owe, they should pay. That doesn't make any sense because you didn't pay. That's why your girlfriend put you out. I'm ready to roll then. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $275. Good luck to you both.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $275.
I've always loved Sean as a family member, but I felt as if this was the only option.
My actions may be harsh, but I always had his best interests at heart.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.